Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today is a book review for you and we are reviewing Nevermoor by Jessica Townsend. Nevermoor was another book recommended in my book club, so that is the one we've been reading this month, and it was a much needed break. It's just a really cute middle grade fantasy, so sweet and magical and just wholesome. But before we get into this review, don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. And as always, I'll read you guys the blurb first. Step boldly. Morrigan Crow is cursed, destined to die on her 11th birthday. But as the clock strikes midnight, she's whisked away by a remarkable man called Jupiter North and taken to the secret city of Nevermoor. There she's invited to join the wondrous society. Mystery, magic and protection are hers if she can only pass 4 impossible trials using an exceptional talent, which she doesn't have. Nevermoor is a massive bestseller. On the front it has a review from Robin Stevens, who's the author of Murder Most Unladylike, and they say it's exciting, mysterious, marvellous and magic. On the back there are more reviews. Sunday Times says funny and delightful. Catherine Rundle, author of Rooftoppers, says a full speed joy of a book, quick-footed and magically inventive. And then the Sunday Express says a wonderful, warm-hearted, magical adventure. First of all, how cute is this cover? It's just so sweet. You've got the crow at the top, shiny gold colours on there. That must be Jupiter there. That's Jupiter's nephew. And then we have Morrigan Crow herself. And the back you have the shadow hunt as well there. So it's very cute. And inside the formatting as well. Really easy to follow. You can see just got chapters and quite big chunky writing, as you would expect for a middle grade book. It was so sweet. As always, I will do a spoiler free first, and then I will give you guys a spoiler alert for when some spoilers might come into it. So first of all, it has a prologue. You know, if you've watched my videos before, how I feel about prologues. I don't think it is necessary. The only thing that is good with the prologue is it's refreshing that it's not a repeated scene. So unlike in Six Crimson Cranes, where basically that prologue is repeated again later in the book, the prologue is not repeated in this one. However, I think we can get the gist without it, and the first chapter is good enough to get your attention, personally. On page 11, there's a quote that I want to share with you because I just found it so funny and also very on point. Yet paying for an education seems rather pointless when this particular childhood is about to be cut short. Personally, I think we should never have bothered in the first place. I'd be better off sending my hunting dogs to school. They've got a longer life expectancy. Ouch! That is Morrigan's dad saying that. Not going to win any Father of the Year awards, I think. I'm going to say spoiler alert now because some of the quotes aren't necessarily important to the plot that I'm going to say. I don't want to give away any little things from this, so spoiler alert, guys. If you haven't read the book, then skip to this time here if you don't want any spoilers. If you have read the book and don't mind spoilers, or if you haven't read it but honestly don't mind, then keep watching and we'll continue this review. Once again, spoiler alert. Alright, page 44, the baby announcement. Oh, the dad is harsh, and then the stepmother does that on the night that Morrigan is due to die. I think she's better off not in this family. On page 46 to 47, the humour is just so warming and lovely. An example is when everyone is staring at Jupiter because, you know, he's just barged into their dining room and just made himself at home, and he says, "I'm still wearing my hat, aren't I?" As if that's why everyone is staring at him, not because he's just broken an entry, is helping himself to their food and basically saying, "Have you packed your bags yet? We're going, aren't we?" Then the humour continues on page 49, and I have the quote, "It was one thing for a man to arrive unannounced at Crow Manor on Eventide, but quite another to bring the notion of physical affection." That made me laugh so much. I loved it. Morrigan is then whipped away to Nevermoor, where she stays at, and I'm sorry if I butcher the name, the Decalion? the hotel that Jupiter owns. And the hotel is just so magical. It kind of reminded me of Caraval a little bit, with the heartwarming and just wholesome magic in there. Also, the toy makers. Things come to life in the hotel, and the actual place itself kind of reflects the people in it, which is really sweet and beautiful. I want to stay there. On page 147, I have a quote, which is just Nunya. So like, none of your business. And I just like how it's such a childish response to someone asking provoking and not wanted questions. So it's a really good middle grade writing technique to make sure you write in the age group of your character and of your main readers. In Nevermoor, the main character is 11, so she should react like an 11-year-old. Jupiter is technically an adult, but as it is a middle grade book, they give him more childish reactions at the same time as being mysterious, like a lot of adults are to children. They don't tell you everything, which is a common thing that children have to deal with. So when they use Nunya as a response to the police officer looking for Morrigan's immigration papers, it was just brilliant writing, because it really takes you back into the age that you're in and reminds you she's only an 11-year-old girl. Likewise with the writing style, all the ways that Morrigan reacts are as you'd expect a child to react. An example of this reaction is on page 173, which is when Morrigan reacts to Jack, who is Jupiter's nephew, when he is sitting in her seat at the dining table for breakfast. An adult reaction would just be, you don't own a seat, so take a seat and be respectful. Morrigan's reaction is, of course, to wake up early the next day to beat him to that seat because it is her seat. So again, it just takes you back into an 11-year-old mindset. Welcome back. If you have avoided these spoilers, we're now going into my overall review and general thoughts on the book. One thing I have noticed, I've read a few YA and middle grade books recently, is some of them have a lot more telling, which Nevermoor does fall into sometimes. Telling is where you tell the reader what's going on instead of showing it. So using words like felt, you're telling them that the character feels cold rather than just showing them shivering. It's something I'm going to do some research on, because I don't write middle grade myself, so I very much avoid telling where possible. But I'm going to do some research into the differences between middle grade and YA and adult fiction for the amount of telling versus showing you use. I'm not going to say it's a fault with the book, because I do believe it could be to clarify information for young middle grade readers, but it does have a little bit of telling in it. It does also use a lot of adverbs such as suddenly, slowly, things like that. These again are words you would normally want to avoid in your writing, because there are better ways to say it. But again, it is middle grade. Not really a fault, just something I want to research myself to see if it was the author's intention to use these kind of words. Overall, it did feel like it had quite a lot of character arcs, which was nice. A lot of the characters developed in their relationship with Morrigan, even if they themselves didn't necessarily change as a person. They changed with how they treat her. And the general plot is simple, but it is very wholesome and nice. I enjoyed it. Nevermoor, I would give this book 9 out of 10. Now, I'm saying it questioningly only because it kind of feels like it should be a 10 out of 10. The reason I'm doing 9 out of 10 is because I need to do my own research into the telling and the adverbs in this. Until I've done that research, I can't necessarily give it a 10. However, I would very much recommend reading this if you need just a palate cleanser book to get over a really difficult adult book, or just to escape the real world. Say you're really stressed at the moment and you need just a break. This book is a good break. Also, if you have middle grade readers in your life, definitely get them this. I don't know why anyone wouldn't like it. And that's all I've got for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. I post general bookish pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!